Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with a couple nerds today.
Hi, this is Scott Garibay.
I'm Nerdarchist Ted.
And today we have an unboxing for you. For Valentine's Day, my wife actually got me the starter sets for Star Wars, and this is actually the only way to get dice right now for this game.
Exactly.
At least the last time I checked. It may have changed since then. Like, you know, Fantasy Flights, you know, keep saying that they're, you know, that they're still waiting for a shipment for the manufacturer, pretty much. Yeah. So we're going to do 3 videos, and we're going to unbox each one of these and let you guys know what's in it. So I'm going to start right at the top with Edge of the Empire.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, if you haven't signed up for the Nerdarchy newsletter, please consider doing that. It's really helpful. Helps you keep your game on track, helps you improve your game, and really helps keep your players happy at the table. So definitely consider signing up for the Nerdarchy newsletter.
Absolutely, and you also learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
Indeed.
This past newsletter, I actually did some Valentine's Day stuff. So anyway, this is the box set of Edge of the Empire, Star Wars, the beginner set. And I don't even actually know what's in here, other than looking at the back of the box. I just got it yesterday.
So while you open that, I do know what is in it. So one of the things that you just said is fascinating. So I just bought all 3 of the beginner boxes as well. And the reason why is I had no interest in having the beginner's boxes because I have the actual game. I'm like, why do I need these? But I want as many dice as I can, and I'm not convinced that they're going to be able to print more dice. So right now, you cannot buy the dice for the retail price. They're not available anywhere, so you have to pay a premium. So you're paying $20 or $25. These are $20 to $30 on Amazon, depending on where you get them. And so I was wonderfully surprised at all. Yeah, I was wonderfully surprised at all the awesome content that is in these games, and they really are worth every penny, and there's great stuff in them beyond the dice.
All right, so the art on these are beautiful.
Fantastic.
Now, I have my first complaint.
Go ahead.
I don't like the box style.
I hear you.
It just opened up like a box of cereal.
Yeah, and it's kind of, the box is a little flimsy. Just so you guys are aware, if you guys want to go down this road, the boxes are really cinematically pretty awesome. They really are beautiful. So I take just a mailing tape, you know, and then I tape them over, and then it makes them a little more sturdy, and you can use them for a while. So you
have a spacer.
Yeah, indeed. So there's not a lot of material in these. But one, the dice alone are fantastic. So here's right now. This is what you're buying these for. You want to show them the dice?
Yes. What I will say first of all, the starter sets are like $25, $26 on Amazon, right? Yep. The dice at retail, they retail for about $15.
Right. That's exactly right.
So what we're looking at here, right here, is the other $10 worth of stuff I just paid for, or my wife paid for. So you know, we have the dice. And yep, they're Star Wars dice. You can see plenty of those online. But what else do we have in here? We have advertising for X-Wing and other.
X-Wing is the tactical game that they run. It's really good, and the figures are fantastic to be used in Star Wars games. Very expensive, but peerless. The X-Wings, all of the ships are just phenomenal. Have you seen those? Just the quality of those? Yes. Really, really solid.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah,
but it's a very expensive part if you're like trying to incorporate it into your Star Wars game.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you're running a Star Wars role-playing game, you may have somebody who's already playing that game. Right. So you might just want to talk to them, maybe see if you can get a few of them into your game.
So we have an insert, and basically this is an example of play.
Yep. And it says read this first.
And it does say read this first.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of how to go through the content that's there. The idea for these is that each one has an adventure that gets run, and so this is the adventure book itself. You want to go ahead and show them that?
Yep, this is the adventure book, as Scott said.
Yeah, it's got the same cover art as on the.
And then also at that point, once you have the adventure going, there's also read this book last, and I'll show that to you. So this is the book that says read this book last. And that's the rule book, and so that really shows you how to actually play the game. And these are, and also if you don't actually have the large role-playing games, or I'm sorry, if you don't have the game, these are awesome. Like if you want to just try this out, you can get one of these and play the game wholly for $25, which is fantastic. I am really suggesting if you have the full books, these are still 100% worth buying. And the reason why is you can then give these to one of your players and say, read through this, and it really helps them get them ramped up.
Or just having extra rule books at the table for less
It's really
than $40.
fantastic, exactly. For them, it really serves as a handout to your players to say, you can start to learn the full rule set at a much lower level, at a boiled down level with these. So it really is quite invaluable.
So, in addition to that, like still in the first book, there is 31 pages in this book, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call it 32 because the back of the cover is actually useful information that you need. Extremely
useful. In fact, I want to kind of dig into the back. So on the back of this cover, it tells you what's going on with the criticals, right? So the top is this is what happens when you take multiple critical attacks, right? So, and it gets worse. You get deleterious effects. This is extremely important. This is saying, here's all the symbols on every single die, and then here is each dice. And this is important because in this game, there is a progression of learning the dice. So you're going to learn the colors, and then you're going to learn the actual names. And this really helps get the players there right away. And then the last one is, this is a guide for, hey, you're going to attempt something. This is how difficult it is to actually achieve those effects. And that goes from simple to easy to average to hard to daunting to formidable, and these directly link with the difficulty dice, which are the purple dice, and easy is 1 all the way to formidable, which is 5 purple dice. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you could actually like lay that on the table, face down, so people can look at it. Now, in the rule book, there is 47 pages of content here. And again, they make use of the back. So
exactly.
That's like 48. So they're really.
Can I see the back real quick?
Sure,
so on the back, you're going to get these are. Oh, this is a really nice guide to all the skills in the game. So between these two, you're saying, hey, here's all your critical effects. Here's a guide to the dice. Here's a really nice list of every single skill in the game, and here's your difficulties, right? So these are really, and then also again on the bottom, I can't like explain how important that is. You'll see here's a guide to every symbol on the dice and a guide to the dice themselves, and players will be learning those things over sessions. It really is challenging.
We've played 2 sessions, and I'm still like there's still a couple symbols that I get backwards.
I hear you.
It's like all right, I've got hit and advantage, but the setback and the miss I've got flipped.
Yeah, I still just look at the cheat sheet for the most part.
So I'm going to say that the cool part is anytime you've got a pre-published adventure that comes with whether they be standees or just the little chits that you can put on your battle map, it's fantastic because you don't have to use a representative thing. You can just be like, oh, boom. It's WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get. And this is a nice little sheet. There's not a huge amount there, but you've got ships, you've got people, you've got monsters. There's a lot to be able to work with here, and I think that is fantastic.
And one of the things I think is great about it is when you have all 3 of these boxes, you really get a great sense of the Star Wars world itself. So this pawn set, this is focused on everybody you would find in the smuggler world and in the bounty hunter world, and on places that are hives of scum and villainy.
Well, I mean, the at its essence, that's what Edge of the Empire is about. The Edge of the Empire, the core book or the starter set, you're playing in the world of mercenaries and bounty hunters. Exactly. You're not working for the Empire or for the Rebellion, and that's the thing that you have to take away from that particular rule set.
Yeah. Exactly. It really is unique. This is a really fantastic map of what is a YT-1300 freighter. We all recognize it as a Millennium Falcon type. You could see it's the Crate Fang right there. Beautiful map. And then this, of course, you can use this seamlessly with these standees. With the not standees, but with these disc tokens. And so it's really, really excellent. And then right on the back, extremely useful. 3 separate, little sessions that all are told how to use in the adventure itself. Really, really wonderful. Great content.
We haven't even finished going through everything that's there, and there's already a lot of value and information. So I'm guessing these are the characters.
Yeah. So let's get into these. These are wonderful. These are character sheets, full color character sheets that can be handed out to the group, right? And so this is Ascara. She is a Twi'lek bounty hunter, and check this out. Her background story is right on the back, so that people can read about it. Inside,
How many, is it just the 4 pages, or is it?
it's actually it's like 8 pages. It's actually
Wow.
yeah, it's 8 pages long.
Yeah,
it's
let's see
amazing.
here. I've got Pash the Smuggler, and he's clearly a Han Solo type character.
Yeah.
Pilot. So you've got character sheet. It's got the
symbols are
information
all over it.
with
Yep.
the symbols and dice. It's got the full spread character sheet spread out over the 2 pages. You can see, so that you've got helpful information on both sides. It talks about what you're soaked, your wounds, your strain, your critical injuries. It gives you what you can do on a player's turn, and it says stop here, don't turn the page until instructed by the GM.
Exactly.
So you can turn the page and you can look at, oh, now we've got an advanced character, so that you don't even have to go through the process of leveling up because it's done that for you.
Well, that being said, I don't think you can go through the process with the
True.
with the materials given.
That's true. These boxes do not allow you to create your own character. You will be using the characters that come with it. It is a complete adventure. You guys can sit down and have fun. And one thing is, you could play 2 or 3 sessions with these, because at the end it says, hey, here's your power tree, right? And so you can choose to say, I'm going to progress this character by giving them this new path. So we already have this power, then I'm going to come down here, I'm going to get this next power for 5 XP, whatever it costs.
And it tells you, the whole process of investing experience points. Again, the dice symbols are right there. And then, as Scott said, your character story is on the back. So the 4 characters you get, you've got Ascara the Bounty Hunter, Pash the Smuggler, you've got 41 Vex the Colonist, and he looks like...
And he's a droid.
He's a droid, which is something definitely can play. And then for all of you out there who love playing Wookiees, we have Lorik the Hired Gun. That's a pretty badass picture, if you ask me. Dude, this is amazing amount of content.
And also, what's the cost? So it's $25, and you could easily run 3 sessions in that game. So that's $8 for 4 people to have 2 to 4 hours of fun with. That's a really good value. If you already own all 3 of the books and you have all the dice, I would still really encourage you to really consider buying these box sets. And one of the reasons why is these are really useful if you already have a game going. And so one of the reasons why you can do that is, even if you have a game going and they've created their own characters, what I've done is I will take these guys and say, he is a contact of yours, right? And so they're saying, oh, that's great. I have this contact. I can bring him in whenever I want. And then when I say to the player, hey, roll your challenge die, and they go, what color is my challenge die? I say, well, just check page 1 on your contact, and that will show you a graph of all your dice.
Yes.
And so it's a way that you kind of push back on the player, saying, hey, you have something in your hands that helps you to play this complex game. And so, yeah.
The other thing is, as a GM, to be able to be like, okay, well, beyond getting, beyond getting the dice that you can't readily get, beyond getting the tokens that are going to be very, very useful, if you're not going to play the story, there is still a lot of valuable source material here. And as you said, you have got 12. I imagine there's going to be 4
exactly
in
right.
each
There
box.
are in each.
12 ready-made NPCs, completely ready to go with their own motivation, goals, and stories.
Or, I'd been discussing bringing in someone into Scott's game that's never played RPGs again, and I was going to have to go, well, what kind of person would you want to play? Blah blah blah. I don't have to do that now and make up their character. I can go through these 3 box sets that I've purchased and pick one of the 12 characters, and one of them will probably fit close to what they're talking about, just so I don't have to do a whole lot of extra work for someone that may or may not come back for a game.
Right.
And now I can just hand them a character and be like, okay, this is your guy. This is what you're doing.
They're even more valuable than that. So these alone are incredibly useful, right? So another really awesome use for these is the Star Wars game, far more than any Dungeons and Dragons game, is the players break off. Right, so you could say in a Dungeons & Dragons, don't split the party. You really can't say that in a Star Wars game, because there are very legitimate reasons to break the party up and for characters to go off in different great ways. That's already started happening, and I'm running 2 Star Wars campaigns right now. And so one of the other really invaluable uses I found for these handouts is the characters say, "Oh, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go protect this Dark Force user girl, so my character's gonna fly off into the Outer Rims," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have an hour and a half of content that I'm gonna run on this Imperial base over here," and so I'm saying, well, rather than my player saying, "Oh well, have fun for an hour and a half watching us play," I say, "Oh, well, these people are all there on that ship. Which one are you going to take control of?" And so that gives, and then for 10 minutes, that person is looking through and they're like reading the backstories, and I'm going along. And then what I've found is that even as I'm going along, they're like, somebody will say, "Oh, well, we don't have an astrogation. We don't really have strong astrogation." And so one of the players will immediately, stop reading and say, "You do have an astrogator," and bring 41 Vex right into the story. So these are really just fantastic resources. They're a great value. I was really, I almost felt a little guilty. I'm like, I'm just getting the dice. I don't care what the rest of the stuff is in there. And I really just was drawn in, and I was reading the content, and I was,
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. I was just blown away with the value I got. It really is a great buy, a lot of fun for a game that I was already 100% sold on.
So with that, I'm going to close things out. I'm happy with it. I'm glad I got this. And you guys in the comments below, you can let us know what you think. Do you think it's a waste of your money? Do you think it's a good buy? If would you just only get the core books? I don't know. Whatever you think, put it in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out on nerdarchy.com and read the articles or grab some sweet swag.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.